get the business and markets week open. It's the 9th day of the 9th month of the year 2024. Welcome, everyone. Your opening bell gets started right now. How did we finish off over the weekend across front African markets? Let me start from Egypt. It was what you called a bloody Sunday for the stock market. The EGX30 tanked unbelievably 2.44% to start Cairo's trading week. That's quite a bloodletting. The EGX30 slumped below the 33,000 level to just around 30,270. It was a brutal Sunday for the biggest stock market north of the continent. But let's see what the EGX30 will look like today, Monday, when the rest of the region in the Middle East get back into business with Morocco and Tunisia, next door, Algeria markets as well. Let's see whether things will get a bit better. But investors hit the panic button as far as Egypt's concerned. They sold off massively on Sunday. Picking that back a little bit to Friday when the rest of the continent finished off for the weekend. In Nigeria, the NGX eked out 0.25%. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was by 0.31%. The Nairobi stock market was down by 14 basis points. The South African GSE followed the rest of the developed and emerging markets by roughly 1% in the negative. 33, that's the all-share index, the GSE, to just the tail end of the 81,000 reading. Let's bring on to the fore some of the headlines we're tracking for you as we start the new week, starting with East Africa. The IMF's $1 billion loan program with Uganda has expired. There's a plan for another IMF staff meeting with the authorities in Kampala. Uganda is not going to get any further support from the IMF until things are sorted out between the Bretton Woods institutions and the authorities over there. In the meantime, Airtel Money is partnering with SAISAI to expand free remittances to Uganda and the rest of the continent. In Kenya, the ICT agency or the authority is working to boost an uptake of internet domain, even as Elon Musk's Starlink weighs in very heavily into that business, not just in Kenya, but across East Africa, Uganda, Burundi being the latest countries in the region, with footprints already in Nigeria and Zimbabwe as well. In the meantime, Kenya's pending bills dropped 106.6 billion shillings because the government of President Ruto is looking to clear the backlog of the country's debt. In West Africa, you've got a whole lot to digest with Nigeria's fuel scarcity. Schools are resuming today for the new session in the year. It's going to be a tough time for parents in schools trying to power schools, get kids to school, with a crunch in petrol scarcity as well as the higher prices being paid across the country. There is no clarity yet. Deals still deadlocked between the State Oil Corporation, the NNPC, and Dangote Refinery as to who's going to be the off-taker. News coming through over the weekend from Dangote Refinery, the multi-billion-dollar facility that is petrol products will now be exported out of the country since NNPCs gave no clearance as to what happens next. It's still a whole lot of conundrum trying to be cleared out at this point. In the meantime, the Naira had a fresh low last week, even as we saw the central bank ratcheting up, coming back to the market in a manner of speaking to sell $20,000 to each bureau of the change operators on Friday just to keep the Naira from sinking further. Ghana is initiating major Eurobond restructuring offer to keep the market happy and keep investors also happy with the economy. And finally, Liberia's Minister of Finance, Ngafuan, has pitched an ambitious economic revival program or strategy for the administration, the new administration that is in Monrovia. Let's get on to see the Southern African community. Germany says is looking to fund about roughly 400 billion rand to help South Africa revamp its energy grid. South Africa is looking left, right, and center to provide electricity at a sustainable level. The BRICS Bank, the new development bank, has rejected a fresh loan to Eskom. The troubled utility giant still needs so much money. So much has been done under the new electricity minister's office to ensure there's a major slowdown in the number of outages in South Africa, but there's still a whole lot more to do. Next door in Zimbabwe. African Sun says he's selling 2 hotels in order to recapitalize. We'll see how that impacts the shares of the company on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. In Namibia, the country says it's got $730 million Namibian dollars to support green projects. Remember, the Global Hydrogen Summit was held last week for 3 days until Friday in Windhoek, the capital. Finally, in Zimbabwe, the drought is having major impact, El Nino impact. $1.6 billion is needed to lift Zimbabwe's crop output. What's the new deal for the current planting season? The government will provide about 60% of funding support to farmers. Farmers will have to get 37% themselves, whether from banks and other sources. Then those who want to do self-finance will pick up the balance. It's very tough right now on climate change impact on food and agriculture supplies in Southern African region, and that's expanding into a few other regions in Africa, in the West, as well in the Eastern Corridor. Let's take it to North Africa just to wrap up the 9th day of September, just to welcome you all to the new week. Egypt is looking at a rare LNG cargoes for winter, squeezing exports future. News came in over the weekend that electricity prices has been raised up in Egypt because gas supply is very scarce to come by. Remember last year, about $200 million has been pledged by Libya and a few other countries in the Middle East to support Egypt's electricity supply. Now, households will have to pay more for electricity costs, and winter is just around the corner. In the meantime, the MS Media in Egypt and EMA Finance are looking to about $3 million deal to boost Egypt's export, while the Goshen High Tech has been appointed Khalid Galam as the chairman of the Moroccan unit. The subsidiary of this company, the high tech company, is now have a new chairman, and that's Khalid Galam. We congratulate him in that position. And Morocco finally is getting back. The region hit the most by the earthquake just a year ago, around September the 6th of 2023, is getting back. There's a sustained momentum in terms of rebuilding the city and getting healthcare and a few other facilities back and running. That's the Al Haouz region. And those are your headlines. Take it up from there. Let's get to the rest of the week. Let's continue from here with your Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosin Amofaye. Do have a great week ahead.